too hard for it to play as like I guess it was as a bad thing, or how do you think artificial intelligence could actually mess up the game world?
Well, it can only go one of two ways. It can enhance the non-playable characters on how they respond, make it more realistic, or
Oh,
like you said, it'll make a game extremely hard. But then there's already a lot of games that don't have a lot of artificial intelligence that are challenging, like Elden Ring or a lot of Dark Souls games. So I wouldn't say it's about making it hard. It's just how is it going to be implemented, and will it overshadow what the game is supposed to be, and will it all just
mm,
focus on artificial intelligence, or will it actually complement the game?
very interesting point. I like that. So, what's one of the strangest and most unexpected things that's ever happened to you while playing a video game?
Getting shot through a vending machine.
Fair enough. All right, I can respect that because I think I would be kind of surprised if I'm playing a video game and I'm like, all right, wait a minute. So I know one thing ain't glitching. Something just happened. So
Yeah,
so I hear that. All right. Well, we know that's that. If you could play one genre of video game for the rest of your life, what game would what game would that be and why?
I like a lot of action-packed story games. Like, for instance, I had Daxter when I had the PSP, so I would think I would play some. I don't know if if that's considered like an indie game at this
Uh-huh.
point now, but I would consider I like games like Daxter and Ratchet and Clank, so I would definitely go back and play those games because they had a very nostalgic feel, and I feel like they were ahead of their time because the graphics were extremely great and the mechanics of the game weren't outdated, and I feel like you could play that game now and be like, this was amazing for its time.
Mm. So you played a lot of games, and it seems like you're really into the nostalgia, the story of the game, the interaction. Like it has some thought to it.
Hmm.
Through playing those games, if you could give a hidden gem that most people don't know about in any one of those games, or just any game in general, what gem or advice would you give to somebody if it was their first time playing a game and you wanted to put them on?
So if we use Daxter as an example, the PSP version, I would say that's considered a hidden gem because I don't really hear too many people talk about that one anymore.
Hmm.
And in terms of somebody playing it for the first time, really take in the story
Mm.
because it's very well written. At least I feel like it's very well written. Somebody may beg to differ, but it was a really good game, and it wasn't too much dialogue or too much action. It was a nice balance,
Okay.
and also it had little puzzles and stuff like that. So it was, I can't say it's completely educational, but educational and critical thinking sort of way.
All right. So do you happen to remember those puzzles, or if I'm playing the game and I get to the board and it's like you can go left or you can go right?
I think
Any
one of
tips
the
on?
puzzles was you had to move certain. I believe I was like in this corridor or in this building.
Yep.
I could be wrong, and you had to move a couple of things around
Mm-hmm.
before you could open the door. But it wasn't so straightforward because you had to move from different corridor to corridor, and I think you had to shift different boxes or something like that. It's been a long time, so I might be wrong. But that one, I remember when I was younger, it was frustrating because I didn't know what I was doing. I was kind of just fumbling around, and always make sure you read the hits. I wasn't reading the hits, so
I got you.
definitely read.
I do kind of love that with games when they have that aspect of like you really got to figure it out. It's
Hmm.
not something where you like. I mean, it's in some things it's intuitive, like, oh, okay, I walk through this door, I go down this hallway, I hit this button, it does this. But then when you get to a stage, it's just like, all right, it's empty, but I know I got to go somewhere. What do I have to do? I love games that make you actually think, and as far as like once you figure it out, I think it makes the game that much more addictive, in my personal opinion.
Most definitely.
So, um, now the ball's going to be in your court with this one. If you could create your own video game, what's the concept or the story you'd base it on?
That's gonna be, it's a little challenging because I've thought about it, but then I stopped thinking about it.
Oh yeah, and to make it even harder for you,